All right, so I have three different things here that I'm going to use as indicators. Actually, by this point, hopefully you have an indicator that you've already chosen, you've already tested, and you already found that it works well. But this is just to show a few things that we might do. So here I have some fruit, some water, and a leaf from a plant. So I'm going to try these out and see how they react. So put some of this is my baking soda water on that one, and then I'll put some baking soda water this one, and then put some baking soda water in that last one. Okay, and we'll see if any of these have a reaction that shows me how it is. So I know that baking soda water is a base, so hopefully I'll see some changes in at least one of these things. Okay, I've got another thing here. This one's an acid, and so I'm going to put that one. This is vinegar, so I'm going to put some of that onto this fruit. I'm going to put some of it into this indicator here, and I'm going to put some onto that one there. Okay, now some of these might take a few minutes. You know, this one you can see that right here, this one, it changed right away. It is very obvious that it changed. This other one here, it looks like it might be changing a bit, but it wasn't so immediate as the first one. So sometimes, you know, we might have to do a couple of things. We might have to stir it up a bit, so that might help it to react faster. Maybe the baking soda water didn't get mixed in very well. At least one of these indicators shows me acid very quickly and very clearly. Okay. As far as this other one here, the base over here, it looks to me, it might be a little hard to see, looks to me like it's turning from a bluish color to a greenish color. I'm not sure if that's real clear in the picture here, but I can see it with my eyes here. And then maybe after a bit of time, I'll see if those other things, the leaves and the fruit, show any changes as well. If I find one that works well, then I'm going to say, okay, that's a good one, and then that's what I'm going to use in my lab report. So in my lab report, what I would start with, if I said, I tried a couple of things first and they didn't work well, but now I've got something that works quite well, so I'm going to do this. Now, so maybe I say, okay, this is the one that I'm going to use, this one in the middle. Or, even though it's not so dramatic, I might use the one on the bottom there, because as time goes on, I might see, oh, actually, you know, there is a change that's happening there. That is showing some difference. Okay? So then I'm going to choose something else that's not baking soda water and is not vinegar. In my lab report, I'm going to start off by saying, okay, here is what happened when I mixed the baking soda solution with my indicator. It turned this color. Or maybe something else happens, and we can see maybe at the end here, I'll come back after a few minutes and we could see what some of these other indicators might do. Okay, but then in the end I say, okay, now I'm going to try something else, and I might have a good idea already whether it's an acid or a base, but what I want from this is to show, using my indicator, what my indicator tells me. So I might say here, okay, I've done some testing here, and this indicator in the middle here, it turns green when I mix a base with it, and it turns pink when I mix an acid with it. So now I'm going to try using this to test something else that maybe I know what it is and maybe I don't know what it is. So I decided to use the lime juice, the Manao juice. And I say, okay, I'm going to test this one out and see what happens. So I put some of that in here, and then I find, that's what happens. Okay, so in my lab report, okay, first of all, maybe I'll point out, in my log, I should already have a picture of what happened with the baking soda and a picture of what happened with the vinegar, or whatever the acid and base that you chose to use are. And then in your lab report, you're going to tell me what you did and what you found in the procedures. And then in your raw data, you'll show me a picture of, okay, this is what happened when I mixed it with baking soda, which is a base. This is what happened when I mixed it with vinegar, which is an acid. And so when I mixed my Manao juice, this is what happened. And since it turned this color, then I'll say, therefore, I think my indicator tells me this is an acid, or this is a base, or this is neutral. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on there. So your conclusion, just a couple of notes here. Your conclusion should match up with your objective. So your conclusion is just going to be one sentence here. Okay. I also, this is something that you're not going to have at home, most likely. I also have something here that's a little bit stronger than baking soda solution. I'm just going to try this one out to see what I see on these indicators when I try this one. Okay. Okay. So, again, this might take a little time to react fully, but we'll see. We'll come back in a few minutes and see what is the final thing that I see from these indicators. Are they all good indicators, or some of them good indicators, or none of them good indicators? All right, so I'm not sure how clear this is here. I'll probably try to put in a photograph that's a little clearer, but after some time, hopefully here you can see some difference here. So I've got a row that is, actually I added in one row later because I realized I had tried to mix something in with each one of these. So I've got one that I just put water with it so I could compare. If it's just plain water, how does that compare to these others? So this one has water. This one has the baking soda solution. And I can see this one, the edge of it seems to have gotten dark. This one, it turned green. This one, it turned very dark green. And this one here, the edge of it turned kind of pink. And then this one turned pink, and then this one turned brown. You can see brown color on that one. When I did this one, there's also pink right around the edge, and turned this solution pink, and turned this one has brown spots on it as well. And then this one with a very strong base is quite distinct. So this one, it turned the skin actually black around the edge and turned the rest of this fruit to yellow color, turned the solution yellow. This one turned yellow. And then this one, it turned really dark as well. But then later on, it pulled so much of the color out of the leaf that the leaf started to get lighter colored again. So it's a very yellowish green, but it turned into a dark green, a very dark green that had tones of yellow to it. And then lots of that color came out in solution. So if I were doing this as my lab report, then I would probably want to document, okay, this is what my indicator looks like when it's not mixed with anything. This is what it looks like when it's mixed with baking soda water. This is what it looks like when it's mixed with vinegar. And so now I know what to expect, and then here I'm going to try something new. I say, okay, this time I'm going to use Manao juice, and I'll see what does my indicator tell me about Manao juice. Does it tell me it's an acid? Does it tell me it's a base? Or does it tell me it's neutral? And then I would use that one to tell there. And then this one, you wouldn't actually use that one. I just put it in for fun at the end here. All right. So hopefully that gets you on your way. Hopefully you see where you're going with this lab. And again, lots of you have been contacting me with questions, and that's great. Keep on asking questions. Please keep telling me what you want to know. All right, there we go.